Good morning, YouTube. My name is Ashley, aka Miss King, and I'm a reseller on the Poshmark app. And this video right here is my 5 tips to make money on Poshmark. So whether you're new to Poshmark, don't even have the app yet, have never used it, or are an expert on it, feel free to watch this video if you want to get some new ideas on how you can make money with it. Just a note, during this video I do have to look down at my notes, so if you see me peeking down every now and then, please forgive me. It's just to make sure that I give you everything in order. There are a couple of technical things that I want to reference, so I want to make sure that I cover all of that correctly, because it's a lot easier to do with your phone in your hand than it is to explain. So I want to be able to describe it in a way where you can actually follow along. Next to that, just another little note, this video is being sponsored by Poshmark. Regardless of that fact, I will be giving you my 100% completely honest opinion. I will be telling you my actual experience with the app, and I will be telling you about things that I do on a day-to-day basis to actually make money with the Poshmark app. So, if that's something that you're interested in, then just keep watching. So, number 1 on our list of ways to make money with Poshmark, list well. Now, I realize that that is an incredibly broad tip. But what I mean by that is starting with your photography. When you photograph your items, not all of us have, $400, $500, $100 lighting kits. So if you don't have access to a lighting kit, then your next best bet is absolutely natural light. Whether you have to take your items outside, or maybe you're lucky enough to have great lighting in your house, take advantage of that. The sunlight will always give you some of the best quality photos. Personally, for me, I have horrific lighting in my house. As I'm sure you can see from this video, I'm sitting next to probably the best lit window in my house so that I can get this video with decent lighting, and it's still not really that great, and I can't exactly lay my items out on my couch. So personally, for myself, I use a combination of household lights and an app called Snapseed just to whiten the background of my photographs. I do not edit the clothing, as I don't want to mess with the way that it actually looks. That's very, very dangerous territory to walk into. Because if, when you're sitting there editing it, if you accidentally change the color of it a little bit, you could end up misrepresenting the item and have a case opened against you for wrong color or wrong quality. So I tend to leave the clothes entirely alone but whiten the background, because a lot of my photographs tend to end up a little bit orange because my lighting is too warm in my house. So if you're someone struggling with that, then check out the Snapseed app. A lot of resellers use it. It has a lot of really awesome features, but there is a bit of a learning curve with it, so definitely watch their tutorials. Next to that though, natural lighting. There are lighting kits. There are lighting kits that aren't super expensive as well. There's ring lights and various different offerings. I'll leave links to a couple of those below from Amazon, so if you want to check those out, feel free. Next to that is the way that you present your clothing. You have the option of flat lays or hanging your clothing on a hanger on a white wall, or some people use a door. You can also use dress forms and mannequins. Personally, I use flat lays and my dress form the most. I prefer a dress form over a mannequin because I don't have to take my girl's arms off every time I want to put a shirt on her, and I don't really have the time to deal with a mannequin, nor do I really think it's time efficient. So personally, I use a dress form. You can also find those on Amazon, as well as thousands of other companies. I will leave a link to something similar to that below as well. You also have to consider listing the item honestly and descriptively. I see it over and over and over again on Reddit and different Facebook groups, people getting irritated with their customers asking questions about their listings because they end up missing the questions, or they don't answer them in time and they lose the sale, or they believe that most customers asking questions aren't actually going to buy the item. I don't particularly agree with that. I would say probably 70 to 80% of the time, if someone does ask me a question, which doesn't happen often, they do end up buying the item. But the other side of that is, if you put all of the information in your listing to start with, then they won't have to ask. So personally, I do include measurements in my listing. I do note that they're approximate though, because you could have a case opened against you if someone measures the item entirely differently and says that you were dishonest about the sizing. So I take the best measurements that I can, I state that it's approximate, and if anyone does have questions about fit, I try to do everything I can to let them know the size of the item. But it's very, very important to be honest. If something is flawed, you need to disclose that. Some people choose to not sell flawed clothing, and that's perfectly fine. I have sold quite a bit of it myself, not stuff that's horrific, but if it's just a little hole or a little stain that's not even visible when it's worn, I'll list it anyway. And I've sold pretty much all of those items. I've sold everything from a denim jacket that was missing the top button, to the other day I just sold a beautiful floral baby doll dress that had this little black stain at the bottom of it, and it was a white dress. And it sold within 12 hours. So you really never know. But the important thing is to be honest about it. You don't want to hide flaws because, again, you can get a case opened against you, and then you went through all of that just to have the item returned to you. So list honestly, list descriptively, include the size, include the color, include the care and content tags, so where it says 90% cotton, 10% cashmere, hand wash cold, lay flat to dry. Put all of that in your listing, and if you can't fit that many words, try and include a lot of that information in your photographs. Typically, if I have very detailed pieces, what I'll do is I'll take, say, 6 or 7 photos of the item itself, and then I'll include the brand tag, the care tag, and the content tag, all in a collage in the last picture. You'll have to excuse me if I sound a little raspy. I'm getting over being sick and entirely losing my voice. But yeah, it's time to get this video done, so we are doing it today. Next to that, if you do have people asking you questions, try to respond to them as soon as possible. Don't be snippy, don't be shitty. They're buying a piece of clothing they've never seen from a stranger online where there isn't the same return policy as they would get in store. So for some people, whether they're new to the idea of buying clothing online or whether they've been doing it forever, they want to have that feeling of comfortability that what they're getting is what you say it is. So if you're blowing them off or giving them a not so great attitude when they ask you questions, chances are you're going to lose that sale. And that's what we're here for. We're here to make money selling on the Poshmark app. So you really, you gotta answer their questions, man. And if you don't want to, and you're okay with losing the sale, then I can't really tell you anything else. But for myself, I try to get back to my customers as soon as possible. Number 2 on our list is the offer to likers and bundle features. Now this is a bit of a broad category. There are many different ways of dealing with this. But first off, offer to likers is a feature that Poshmark added onto their app, I believe last year, where when someone likes your item or hits the little heart button, it notifies you and you have the option to send them a private discount. The discount has to be at least 10% off of your sale price and has to include a shipping discount. You have the option of either taking off $1.80 of their shipping or the entire fee of their shipping and giving it to them for free. That does, however, come out of your own profits, so you really have to pay attention to what you're making after providing those offers to make sure that you are still making the money you would like to. Personally, I love this feature. I know some people are not a fan of it because they think that it makes their items go for less, or that it's teaching buyers just to like everything and find the cheapest price. But I feel like we're in kind of an open market for, new and used clothing, so that's going to happen no matter what. Personally, I tend to send out offer to likers pretty soon after I see someone like my items. I know for myself and many other buyers, because I am also a buyer, when I see something I like and I like it, if I get an offer on that item quickly, I'm more likely to buy it because, let's be honest, we're impulsive. And it's a lot easier to buy that purse or buy those fantastic jeans when you have an offer right there. So I do tend to send it out pretty quickly, not 36 seconds later, but I wait a little bit, I see if they're going to buy it outright, or I see if more people are going to like the listing, if it's a newer one, and then I send out the offer. The next feature that I would like to talk about is the bundle feature. So on Poshmark, your bundle is basically the equivalent of your shopping cart. So if I go to Joe Schmo's closet and I love 6 of his listings, I can add those 6 listings to a bundle, aka my shopping cart, and purchase them all as one. Some Poshers have their closets set up specifically so that 2 or more items get 10% off, or 3 or more items get 30% off, whatever it may be. And that can be an automatic discount, or some Poshers like myself don't have an automatic discount set up, but they, more times than not, if you bundle more than a couple of items, will provide an offer to you. So what I like to do with the bundle feature is when you get those people who like a lot of your listings, 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be, I like to go into their closet and add all of those items to their bundle and submit an offer to them on that bundle. Now, it can be a bit complicated as to how you actually do that, but if you already have the Poshmark app and your phone is in your hand, I'm going to explain how to do that in a way that hopefully you'll be able to follow along. So, shout out to my little sister Danny. She allowed me to use her likes in my closet to do this with her page so that I could provide screenshots to you guys and show you what I'm actually doing so that hopefully you're able to understand it in a super easy way. So if you'd like, please go give her some support. She's a little newer to Poshmark and she has some really cute stuff. So, shout out to my little sister, right? Go give her some love, guys. So what you want to do if someone likes multiple items in your closet is you go to that item, say that shirt, and you go to the people who liked it and you go to that specific person's closet. When you go to their closet, in the top right hand corner, you'll see the little bundle icon. It looks, again, kind of like a briefcase with a plus sign over it. When you press that, what it will take you to is your bundle in their closet. What you want to do is hit the little 3-dot icon in the top right hand corner again, which is basically a menu button, and I believe 2 or 3 down you'll see switch to cell view. Hit that and that will take you to their bundle from your closet, which in this specific scenario more than likely is empty. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see all of the listings that they liked in your closet. What you want to do at this point is share each of those listings to their bundle. The way that you do that is when you see the listings at the bottom of the page, click the share button, which will then open up into the normal share page, and you'll see the option to share it to your followers, or right underneath that, you'll see a list of little avatar icons with the name underneath it. That person who liked those multiple listings should be the first one in the list because they're the last closet you visited. So what you want to do is share it directly to that person. So you go through the 2 or 5 or 12 items, whatever it may be, share them all to their bundle. That's what I do anyway. I share them all to their bundle, and then I submit an offer, typically at least 20% off with a shipping discount, and I submit the offer to them. More times than not, if the bundle's worth $60 or less, I'll take $1.80 off of shipping, and if it's $60 or more, I tend to make the shipping free. Obviously, it depends on what the items are and how much of a discount I'm offering them to start with. So, I will submit the offer, and then I'll leave them a little note like this one up here, and I'll just say, hey Danny, thank you for liking all of my items. I hope you don't mind, but I bundled them for you so I could provide you with a discount and so I could send you a private offer with a shipping discount. No pressure, just an offer. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. So that way, you're not just spamming them with sharing a bunch of stuff to their bundle without saying anything to them. I've never had anyone react negatively to this, and I've made a lot of sales this way with people who I honestly don't think were going to make the purchases otherwise. So it's really a great way to let your customers know that you're willing to offer them discounts if they buy more than 1 or 2 items at a time, and it really gives you the opportunity to reach out personally. On their end, when you do this, basically they'll get a notification in their news that says, at Miss King 711 is styling you, followed by you sharing all of those items to their bundle. And when they click on it, it will open up to their bundle where they'll see all of their likes already in their little shopping cart with an offer right there, super easy, that they can either try and counter or they can buy outright. And it's a great way to make sales. It's a great way to let people know that you're open to negotiation. So I really like to take advantage of that bundle feature, and it's a great way to make sales when you have people who like more than one listing. Offers to likers is great when it's one listing, but no one's going to go through if they like 4 different items and pay the shipping fee 4 different times because you sent them 4 different offers. Alright, so my number 4 tip for selling on Poshmark is sharing. Sharing is so important with the Poshmark app. Sorry guys, I cannot talk today. I'm still getting over being sick and my brain's like half fried. Anyway, sharing. There are 2 different kinds of sharing. There are self-shares and there are community shares. Community shares are when other people share your closet or you share theirs. Self-shares are when you share your own items. Now, there's a common misconception that these 2 types of sharing do the same thing, and that is not actually true. When other people share your items, what that does is puts those items at the top of their newsfeed. So basically, any of their followers who happen to be in their newsfeed will see your items. Whereas when you share your own items, it shares them to the top of that brand, the top of that category, whatever it may be, say dresses for instance. And if those listings qualify for any showrooms, it will also go to the top of the showrooms. Now, a showroom is kind of like a curated closet, per se, of many different Poshers listings. So Poshmark will create a showroom for, say, off-shoulder dresses. So if you have off-shoulder dresses in your closet, then when you share to your followers just like normal, it also goes to the top of the showrooms. So anyone shopping in there will see your items. But when, this girl from Connecticut shares your item, it will not. So there really is a large difference between self-shares and community shares, and it is of the utmost importance for you to share your own closet. That being said, I do share back the listings of people who share my closet. Anytime I get someone who shares my closet regularly or who shares a couple in a row, I always do my best to return it. Poshmark very much has a social media aspect to it, and it's nice to get to know people, and it's nice to return the shares that they give you. That being said, it's a business. This is my business. So if it comes down to sharing your closet or sharing my own and putting food on the table for my family, I'm sorry, but I'm going to share my own closet. You can share your closet as many times a day as you want, although I believe it has been tested and there needs to be at least 45 minutes between shares in order for it to show up new again in, whatever category, showroom, etc. So if you wanted to, you couldn't literally sit there all day sharing your items again over and over all day. You'd be wasting about half of your time, depending on how many items you have. Now, when you share is also just as important as it is if you share. I really can't talk today. I'm so sorry, guys. When you share is just as important as if you share. Poshmark throws 4 parties a day where you can share to the parties, and instead of just being seen in the category or in the brand or in your newsfeed, you're opening up your items to thousands more people who may be shopping those possible parties. Now, the parties are also specifically categorized, sometimes by designers, so you can only share to them if you have Free People items, or Anthropologie items, or Michael Kors items, or Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, whatever it may be. Sometimes those parties are specific by category, so you may see one for best in tops, or best in jeans, what have you. A lot of times, they also do more broad spectrum parties. That tends to be the last party of the night, where it may be an everything kids party, or work week chic, or Sunday fun day. Those parties you can really share anything to, but always try and stay within whatever they chose for it to be. For instance, maybe don't share a thong bikini to work week chic unless maybe you're a stripper, then that's work week chic for you. But you get what I'm saying. So, even if you don't have items that actually go in the parties, those parties happen when Poshmark has determined that the most people are on the app. So even if you're not sharing the parties, I still try to take advantage of those times. Most of the time, my sharing schedule is that I'll get up first thing in the morning. I get up at 5:45 every morning, and I'll share every listing in my closet just to kind of wake my closet up. Then I tend to share again around noon. That's when the first Poshmark party is in my side of the country. I live in Pennsylvania, so I'm in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So our parties happen at 12, 4, 7, and 10. I pretty much always hit the 12 o'clock party. No, that's a lie. Like 60% of the time, I never hit the 4 o'clock party. It just never happens. I hit the 7 o'clock party pretty regularly, and I hit the 10 o'clock party almost every single night. The 10 o'clock party also happens to be the most broad spectrum party. It's not really by designer, for instance. So I always try to share in those times and get my items out there. I try to share my closet 5 to 10 times a day. Most of the time I succeed at sharing my closet 3 to 6 times a day. The point is, though, you do the most that you can. Personally, I have a house and a partner and 4 young children, all under the age of 8. As well as a day job. So I am a busy, busy woman, and I don't have a lot of time. As well as that, my personal closet is also separated by category. So it goes featured listings, jackets and hoodies, women's tops, women's pants, you know, so on and so forth. I don't always have time to share my entire closet, which is why I created the featured listings category, which is right at the top of my closet. And basically I just cycle out items and I put what I think is the most desirable or most likely to get bought or what I personally just like the most. And I'll put things from every category in order in that specific category. And that way, if I only have maybe 5-10 minutes, I can go in and at least share that and still get those items some exposure and hopefully lead people back to my closet. Regardless though, Poshmark is different from other apps in that you don't really just set your listings and forget them. You really need to take the time to try and share your listings. If you don't, you may make occasional sales, but you will not see consistent sales. I pretty much regularly, I make at least a sale a day, sometimes many, many more, it just depends. And a large part of that is that I regularly share my items. So, now, my fifth and final tip, it's a big one guys, is good old-fashioned customer service. I know, we're selling on an app, we're selling on the internet, we don't need customer service. If that works for you, then by all means, do you, baby. But I don't personally run my business that way. I genuinely want each and every person who buys from me to enjoy their experience in my closet and with me as a seller. And I want them to love their items. So a lot of times when someone purchases my listing, or for instance, let's start even before that. If someone likes my listing, I'll send out an offer to likers if it's not already, bottom barrel price. I'll reach out to them, I'll possibly send them a bundle discount, etc. If someone purchases my listing, I'll send them a little note in their Meet the Posher listing or on the listing that they bought, basically just saying thank you for purchasing from my closet, I'll be shipping your item out this day. Once I package my listing, I always include a little thank you card. I actually have one here. These are thank you cards that I get printed with Vistaprint. Nothing real crazy, it just says thank you for supporting my small business. Has all of my links to my Poshmark and Instagram and whatnot, and then on the back it just says, basically thank you for shopping my closet, I hope you love your item, please return for, this % off of this price. And I do that, one, to encourage repeat clientele, because that's really important. I mean, you can get many, many, many new buys, but if you can get people who consistently buy from you, then that's consistent income. And that's the whole point here. I'm sure some people are just hobby sellers, and if you are, I mean, you may not need to go through getting something like this, but even before I bought those, I still would take the time to go to the dollar store or Walmart and get a little box of basic thank you cards, and I would just write out a little note thanking them. I also package the items in a way that they will get to where they're going safely. Every time, I personally, with my inventory, once I list it, I make sure that it's clean, lint rolled, everything else. I fold it up nice and neat, and I put them in clear plastic bags that are sealed. So that way, when someone buys an item, I'm able to take that bag, that item, I wrap it in tissue paper, I seal it with a little thank you sticker, I throw my card on it, I throw it in a USPS priority shipping box or envelope, and I send it on its way. And it's a pretty easy process that takes a lot less time than having to make up what you're doing with each sale. It's also important to note, one of my favorite things about Poshmark is their shipping process. It's incredibly easy, it's incredibly streamlined, it's honestly a piece of cake, and versus other platforms, you can do it almost entirely for free. I will leave a link down below to USPS's website. Because Poshmark uses all priority mail shipping labels, you can use priority mail boxes and envelopes. To be clear, this is not Priority Mail Express. You do not want the boxes or envelopes that say Express on them. But if they are regular priority mail or flat rate priority mail, and I believe also regional rate, I'm not honestly sure. I never use regional. I always use regular mailing boxes or flat rate. But I know you can also use regional boxes as well. Some people have had issues with their post office. Because of that, there is a letter from Poshmark that you can find on Reddit that you can give to your postmaster to let them know that you are allowed to use flat rate. That being said, all of those items, padded bubble mailers, regular Tyvek envelopes, everything from small to large boxes are provided for you on the USPS website for free. You can literally go on, order whatever you want, and they will deliver it to your front door for nothing. So, personally, I love that because I don't want to pay for shipping supplies. Now, some of their boxes are self-sealing, so you literally won't even need tape, and obviously the tie-back envelopes and the flat-rate padded envelopes, which I will try to put pictures of somewhere around here, they all seal themselves. But some of the larger boxes, the small mailing box or the medium flat-rate box, that's two that I use quite often for larger sales. Those ones you do have to tape closed, so in that instance you might have to buy tape. But all in all, it's a very low cost of goods as far as the shipping process, and then Poshmark literally provides you with the shipping label either in your email or under the sale itself. You print it out, you put all your stuff together, you stick it on the box, you can order a free USPS pickup right to your front door, put the boxes on your front door, and they come and pick it up, and it's gone without you ever having to leave your dining room table. So that is a beautiful thing, my friends. So I always make sure, while I do some frou-frou packaging with, tissue paper and thank you stickers, safety comes first. I make sure that the items are packaged well and in a way that they can survive whatever USPS does to it, because that is on us as the seller to ensure that. And if you package it poorly and it gets damaged, that insurance will get you nowhere. So I love that the shipping supplies are free. I love that Poshmark makes it incredibly easy for me to do. And I love that I don't have to pay for envelopes or boxes. Next to that, though, after they get their item, anytime there is a problem, which is incredibly rare, but every now and then the post office lags behind or an item gets lost, I always make sure to reach out to my buyer and see where they're at, if they've gotten their item, if they liked it. I don't do that too often. More times than not, they get it, they leave me a love note, it's wonderful, and the transaction is complete. But recently I had an issue with a package just entirely going missing. So I got the girl the tracking number. I submitted a claim to USPS, I guess kind of on our behalf, letting them know that the mail was missing. And I helped her find it. And it eventually showed up at her house, and she was beyond grateful that I went through, the process of doing that with her. And as a result, she came back and bought from me like 4 or 5 more times. So truly, good customer service goes a long way. And not to mention, being on the internet, being on Poshmark, there are accounts that have items listed that aren't actually active anymore. So even something as simple as reaching out and saying thank you for buying from my closet and letting them know when you're shipping it out lets them know that they didn't just get their money tied up in a black void that's never going to send them their stuff. So that's really my main 5 tips, guys. List well, photograph well, price competitively, share your items, don't cough on camera, and just give people good customer service. Take advantage of the features that Poshmark has to offer between the offers to likers and the bundle feature. Take advantage of their easy listing process. All in all, it's really not that difficult. And I mean, personally, for me, I love it because, I don't know, some of you may know, but like I said, I started selling on Poshmark because I was about to move with my husband and my kids. I had a lot of stuff to get rid of, but the other side of it, too, was that 5 months beforehand, I had gotten in a pretty significant car accident and had sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. And I was having a lot of issues with keeping my words together and memory and emotion regulation, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I got really messed up. And I kind of entered into this place where I couldn't trust my own mind for a couple of months. More like a year, if we're being honest. But I found Poshmark during that time and was kind of able to get practice in learning about brands and remembering to do things and feeling useful again, because I wasn't really able to do my day job the same way anymore. And I found Poshmark about 4 or 5 months after I got in that accident, and I was able to do it even with a pretty significant brain injury and a lot of issues. I was in and out of therapies, I was in and out of doctors. I was not feeling real great about myself because I was forgetting everything. And for any of you who have children, you can imagine having 4 children and their schedules and life in general and having no working memory. So it really helped kind of reinstate my sense of usefulness. Honestly, it helped me feel useful again. And I was able to add a lot more to our income than I'm able to at my day job, because even at my day job, I only work part-time because I have a young child. And let's be real, daycare is expensive. So, you know, I'm really grateful to Poshmark for that. And now, I mean, like I said, I make sales regularly. It is a pretty significant supplement to my income. Most of the time I make a lot more with Poshmark than I do with my day job. So if any of you are kind of hesitant to check it out, or you're new to it and you're not really sure how much you want to commit, then by all means, jump in. Jump in, feet first. I will leave my link below. You can download the Poshmark app. You can use my code to sign up for it. You'll get $5. I'll get $5. Everybody wins. And it's really, really easy to understand. And there are a lot of people in the Poshmark community who will help you learn how to do stuff if you don't know how to. So if you like this video and you like content like this, then please do subscribe, and please hit the like button below. And I will bring you more and more content like this. Again, this video has been sponsored by Poshmark, and my name is Ms. King. You can find me on Poshmark at Ms. King 711, and I will leave links to all of the things I've mentioned in this video down below. So please feel free to go check them out and leave your comments. Tell me your thoughts, and maybe we can have a conversation. Alright?